Hey, what's up, guys? Sean back, and this is stars who sued the show for My 600 Pound Life. So basically, buyer's remorse. They took the check or whatever to be on the show. They took the extra check I think they get for the shower scene, and then they took the money to move to Houston or not to move to Houston. But basically, they didn't like what happened once the show came out. They got bad feedback. Maybe they're one of the stars that emailed me telling me I was ruining their mental health with my joking around, something like that. But I can imagine I'd feel a little bad too if you guys filmed me in the shower singing Lady Gaga, Poker Face, or something like that, and then caught me doing like an NSYNC remix to Bye Bye Bye, like Ain't No More Fries, Baby Thin and Thighs, and then I helicoptered. That would be one hell of My 600 Pound Life scene though. But this is Big Craig's video, who, good guy, talked to him before, and we're gonna check it out.
My 600 Pound Life usually documents people who have successfully turned their lives around and lost massive amounts of weight. However, after patients claimed they were forced to eat, were put under emotional distress, and so much worse, stars of the show felt they had no option but to sue My 600 Pound Life's production company and Dr. Now himself. And in this video,
They also don't only document success stories. I would say it's like 50-50. It's a toss-up whether they lose that tummy or not.
we're looking at each of the stars who decided to sue and what went wrong for them, starting with the most serious of them all, James L.B. Bonner, whose story ended in tragic circumstances. James L.B. Bonner is someone that I've previously covered on my channel, in my video covering every star who died in My 600 Pound Life, and if you haven't seen it, you can probably guess how his story ends. He was only 30 years old and lived with some pretty rough circumstances.
No one understands how hard it is to be over 600 pounds and missing a leg. Those two factors combined make getting around almost impossible.
Despite being in constant
Talk about taking something that's already difficult and then turning it up to like max insane difficulty. But I did see comments when I did his episode, because it was hard to find a recording of that one because they remove it from streaming platforms, I guess because of the lawsuit. But there were comments that were like, this is such an uplifting episode. He did so great. I guess they didn't get to the ending where I tell you how it ended, tragically and sadly, so.
pain, LB actually had a pretty positive outlook on life and was one of the patients that really made it easy to support him because he actually tried his best. Despite his efforts though, his poor mental state and low self-worth was apparent throughout the show, despite him making jokes about it.
But I hate coming to grocery stores because I feel like 20 minutes after I walk in, I'm going to have a damn panic attack.
Because my whole life I've always been, one of the biggest people everywhere I've went. Then you add the fake leg into it, and I'm a 6'4" bald pirate.
Bro, nobody's looking at you going, how much Hershey's does it take to become Captain Hook? Like, nobody thought that, except for me probably. I thought he lost it to diabetic, but I'm pretty sure it was like a car accident or something like that, he said in the episode.
Of course people are gonna look.
Now, despite the rough start, which included overeating and heavy drinking, which is already a sign of his poor mental health, LB actually made incredible progress on his weight loss journey, and in 10 months lost 262 pounds.
He was running.
Already lost 102 pounds over the last few months.
Yep.
That's fantastic. I'm proud of you.
Well, I can't thank you enough for giving me the tools I needed. So my whole outlook's changed. I know for sure I never want to be the person I used to be when it comes to food or alcohol again. I never want to fall back into that.
And LB achieved his goal of actually being able to run again in what seemed to be one of the greatest endings of a story in My 600 Pound Life history. However, it would take a much darker turn. In August of 2018, at the age of just 30 years old, multiple news outlets reported that LB had taken his own life by the side of a road with a single gunshot wound.
You know how crazy sad it is to see somebody that actually appeared like they were on the right path, was doing so good for himself, and then just couldn't outrun those mental hurdles or demons that were in his head. But I always say people are like their own worst enemy inside their own head. I just wish he would have talked to somebody or got more help before it came to that. It's really tragic because he was doing great in his episode. He lost a ton of weight.
For this, LB posted on his Facebook page that he needed to face his demons head on and thanked everyone for their support, which seems to me like a goodbye message to his fans. His family claimed that LB was a closed book, with his father claiming that LB wouldn't talk about his problems, but there were signs, and after his death, his family decided decided to sue Media, the production company behind My £600 Life. The lawsuit claims that after surgery, LB's life went downhill dramatically. Due to the rapid weight loss and lack of sufficient healthcare, LB's teeth became loose and some fell out. His vision became impaired and he suffered from general malaise. All the while he continued to suffer psychologically and physically. The show continued to pressure. Now, these claims come despite the family saying they didn't think anything was wrong with LB, which is slightly confusing, especially as the lawsuit also claims that LB was struggling financially due to Media not covering his hospital bills, and as a result was being contacted by debt collectors. Media responded to the lawsuit, stating that the claims are without merit, false, and will be vigorously contested in court. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is the last time that this lawsuit has been mentioned, with this article being written in 2020. This wouldn't be the last lawsuit against Media though, as 9 more previous patients filed suits against the show, which would be
It's crazy to me that that many people sued when they kind of knew what they were getting into. But LB, to say that all that happened after the fact, I'd be really curious to know what they really pay for, how much they actually have as like aftercare. Because, yeah, they help people out in the meantime. But once it comes to like done with the show or you're done with the surgery or it's some years down the line, it's just you, man. You're just going to end up, having to handle it yourself. So I don't think they can do too much more for you after that if you're not taking care of yourself. But it's really sad that it ended the way it is or did. But I think it's a guy thing to not be willing to talk to people or ask for help because you think it's like a sign of weakness. Especially, I'm pretty sure he was like a Southern guy. And something about Southern guys, man, they just don't like to ask for help for nothing.
be eventually consolidated into one major lawsuit. The first patients to file a suit after LB's family, of course, was Maya, Gina, and Jean, who you may remember from my previous video about her. Now, these 3 suits all alleged pretty much the same thing, and the trio went into the lawsuit all together, seeking damages of $1 million. They claimed
Bro, Maya, the Christian is ruining everything. Mom, Christian. She was like the biggest spoiled brat ever. I was even like a little mean to Christian in the Where Are They Now episode. I totally regret that.
the producers were negligent towards them, stating that the producers knew how risky rapid weight loss was and unhealthy eating habits were, yet pushed them in that direction for views. Now, as I've covered Jean before, I have to say, I don't feel like it seemed like she was being pushed to do anything. Jean was already living in filth, and it was the show that tried to pull her out of it. It seemed like Gina made the real shocking claim though, as she alleges that the company actually forced her to eat large amounts of food on camera just to fit the narrative. Gina
Oh yeah, they forced the almost 700-pound person to eat large amounts of food. I have heard that they pay for food, so you will eat more so you can afford it. But Jean, she was a special case, man. She had that little gremlin sack growing on her leg, like the devil's ball sack hanging off her. And then her dad looked like friggin' Gandalf, RIP to her dad, but he looked like Gandalf, and that house had to smell like something from Mordor, so it makes sense.
was already someone who refused to take accountability for her life, as when she was scheduled for weight loss surgery, the weigh-in before that, she actually gained 13 pounds, which led to Dr. Now cancelling the surgery. Gina was also shown just to be incredibly lazy and selfish throughout the episode.
But Gina is the one who does she really believes in like healthy oils in your hair. So she just skips bathing altogether. She wants that healthy oil all over her. That lady's like a friggin' oil slick.
Live with my mom, my sister, and her fiance, Keith. And usually it's either my mom or my wife that eventually make me take a bath. But I try to avoid it as much as I can.
G,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get washed up today.
Okay.
So I'll go in there and I'll get your bucket and get that ready for you.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm still really surprised Dr. Now didn't like grab her mom and rip her in there too, because she's officially waddle weight too. She's about maybe 200 away from being on the show her damn self. But could you imagine being her poor wife and having to scrub certain things and sleep in bed together? I can't imagine the smell coming off of that.
You're welcome.
But if my family starts to nag me a lot about it, I just rather not deal with everyone being upset with me, so I just do it, maybe once a month.
Gina actually met a pretty unfortunate end too, as she died at the age of just 30 years old, which happened before the lawsuit had finished. Maya was the final of this trio, and she was actually also incredibly immature and had an awful attitude throughout her journey, blaming everyone but herself.
Dude, Maya was awful when it came to accountability. Gina, RIP to her, it's really sad, but I used to think I wouldn't make it to 30, so She hit the number that I thought I was going to check out before, and then sadly she passed too.
She missed her weight loss goal. Despite sat there weighing over 600 pounds, she turned on her boyfriend, who had helped her throughout her entire journey.
I have to lose more weight now. And now
You see the look on his face. That's the, how much does a fleshlight cost? That's what he's thinking right now. I don't know if I had to tell you that, but that's what he's probably thinking.
I have a whole nother month of I have to do.
This is your fault.
Oh, you haven't lost that much. Yeah.
Because of the stress of you treating me like this. I'm about to melt down. Doctor now asked you a simple question.
I've answered questions in the past. I could take a day off.
I hate you for doing this to me, Christian. Why can't you just answer the questions? Oh, you're costing me my weight loss surgery and you're ruining everything!
No.
Damn it, Christian, stop! Stop!
I'll answer questions on another day, but I just
No.
I have the right to
No, you do not have the right when it comes to my life! Mom! Christian everything up at the doctor's office!
I'm gonna step out.
No! Mom! Mom!
Maya totally
Damn, this is the SATs of fat, and this guy's ready for a break. I've answered questions in the past. It's got to be one of the funniest things to ever say to anybody that's like, why couldn't you just answer the question? I answered questions yesterday. We're not going back in time today, Maya. But yeah, you could just tell how fed up he is with her. And then she blocks the damn doorway. All she had to do was jump up for that move. We're pretty good at clogging up doorways.
embarrassed herself at the doctor's office. Gina was shown to be lazy and selfish throughout her episode, and Jean was put on show as having some of the most, to be frank, disgusting scenes in the series. Now, you may have noticed the trend here. Each of these stars were put on display to the world acting completely awfully, but I don't see how that's the producer's fault. Even if you take them at the word and say the producers did force them to eat, the producers didn't force them to get to 600 pounds and live the way they were living. But I was even more surprised to see that this wasn't even the end of the lawsuits, as even more stars came forward to sue the show, and these weren't as hated as the stars previously. Before that though, I just want to quickly say that our high protein digital cookbook, inspired by the high protein advice Dr. Now gives to his patients, is now on sale. It contains over 40 delicious recipes, all designed to get you started on your cooking and weight loss journey, and because it's in the digital format, you can start right now. We're still providing recipes in our weekly newsletter at the Fat Loss Kitchen, which you can sign up to for absolutely free. Head to
You guys should go check out his Fat Loss Kitchen. Me and him talked about that a lot before he put it out. He was really excited to do that. I know he worked really hard on it with some of his friends to make those recipes. So go check it out. It's a free newsletter anyway.
fatlosskitchen.com to get your copy of my cookbook and to sign up. Make sure you use code Craig to get 15% off, and let's get back into the video.
Oh, yeah. He is actually selling a cookbook now, but I think it's like $10. So it was a free newsletter at first, and then he turned it into a bunch of recipes in a cookbook. But his like cookbook's really, really well thought out and planned out for like people of size to lose weight.
David Bolton, Destiny, Nicole, and Alicia all filed similar lawsuits, with David Bolton's being the most surprising. In February of 2020, David Bolton, the brother of Benji, who, by the way, recently was almost killed as he tried to repossess someone's car and was actually shot multiple times. Back to David though, he actually sued TLC for $1 million, as on top of accusing the show of negligence, he alleged TLC said they would pay his medical bills, but when it came to it, they went back on their promise.
Why is everybody acting like, what's his name from Austin Powers? $1 million. Like every friggin' lawsuit's got to be $1 million. But it sucks that he was shot. I hope that he's getting better. But the other person, I think he's going to show Angie. I think she's sued too.
He also believes that Dr. Now and the team don't care about their patients and are only in it for the money. David Bolton was taken advantage of by the producers of a reality show that was focused only on ratings, while neglecting the welfare of those who appeared on the show. I'll be honest, I find this one hard to believe too, especially the way Dr. Now expressed how proud he was with David and his brother after they lost half their body weight.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Also, what friggin' TV show isn't like, why, who doesn't, like, ratings matter. The TV networks care about ratings. Of course that the shows are going to be like a little sensationalized, all this and that. Yes, they want numbers. They're a TV network.
Doing pretty good.
All right, David, you're almost half of the person you were before.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you've done good, and keep losing weight, and within a few months, you'll be ready for some excess skin removal.
Sounds good.
Benji, you done a total of 324 pounds.
Exactly.
5 pounds more than David. You caught up with him. I would have never guessed that. So how you feel with
I
that?
feel good.
Great. All right, so we still got a lot of work to do, but overall, I'm proud of both of you. You done very well. Stick with the program, and we'll figure out skin surgery. Okay?
I'm ready.
All right, see y'all later.
Dottie from season 4 was also part of this lawsuit. However, on the 14th of June 2025, literally 2 days ago as I'm writing the script, she's passed away too. Nicole, who I've previously just covered, Destiny, who passed away, and Alicia were all part of the same lawsuit.
I haven't checked out Destiny's episode yet. That's still one I need to do. I'm probably going to do that one at some point this week, but I did Brittany's episode the other day. That should be coming out pretty soon too.
All claiming the same thing, that the producers of My £600 Life promised to pay their medical bills, but never came good on the promise. These were all filed in 2020, and eventually they were all consolidated into one massive lawsuit against the company. And in 2022, we finally had an update, and it may have went in a way you may not have expected. In the Texas Civil Justice Journal, an article was released titled Corpus Christi Court of Appeals tosses suit against producer of My £600 Life, which explained the outcome and gave us some more humiliating details.
Isn't the producer Dr. Now's son though? I'm pretty sure he's the one that handles the show, and then Dr. Now's just the talent that's on it.
Patients claimed they were forced to do voiceovers for the show for 14 hours a day, threatening them if they didn't do it and forced them to eat foods they didn't want to eat. However, the lawyer nor the patients could give any evidence at all. Not to be
Yeah, no shit. If you watch them eat, does it look like she's being tormented right now? Oh yeah, buddy, you guys really put her through the ringer making her eat all that. And they don't even talk for 14 friggin' hours. What kind of voiceovers are they filming? Is this like a video game? Is there gonna be a My £600 Life video game coming out?
Sensitive, but I don't think anyone on My £600 Life needs to be forced to eat. It didn't take long for this case to be thrown out of court too, with the author of this article claiming that the patient's lawyer seemed to be wanting a quick payday, expecting that the producers would want to settle out of court, but of course was sorely mistaken. Now, although this was the biggest lawsuit against the producers, it wouldn't be the last, as Dr. Now himself was actually sued for over $200,000 after leaving his equipment inside of a patient after surgery. Despite him seeming like a complete professional and a seasoned expert, Dr. Now was sued in 2018 for leaving a 29cm steel tube inside of someone. The patient
Well, you know, even the best slip up sometimes. Sometimes you lose a scalpel here or there. I imagine it happens to the best of them. Dr. Now's done a lot of friggin' surgeries. We can't just go against the fat lie detector like that. Maybe the steel rod was meant to be in there. No, actually, there's no excuse for that. That's pretty damn bad.
Patient claims she completed a routine surgery, but was left in extreme pain after she got home. She originally attributed it to the standard post-op pain, but after it got worse over time instead of getting better, she knew something wasn't right. And on closer inspection, she claims this turned out to be a 29cm section of steel tubing and a portion of stainless steel connector that had been left inside her when she'd had a gastric band removed. Now, as of the recording of this video, no update has been given on this case, and we can only assume it's ongoing, or they've settled outside of court. If you
Also, I'm pretty sure they don't even do the lap band, like, cause that band slips and slides. So I do know my surgeon said he doesn't have anything to do with that thing anymore, cause they have to go in and correct it more times than not. But there's one theme with everybody on here. Most of them, except for like LB at the start, didn't really take much accountability and act like a spoiled brat, especially Maya. But I really thought Angie was on this list, man. I thought, yeah, because, I don't know, she got with Vianney and Alan. Vianney? Yeah, I think that's it. And Alan, they were together. She stole Vianney's man. Vianney? I don't even know how to say her damn name anymore. But she stole him. Like, somehow, there's a My £600 group chat where everybody's just trading, I guess, extra, like, jiggle pics or something like that. I don't know. But that's the people that sued the show. Buyer's remorse. What did you expect when you went on a show called My £600 Life, okay? Did you expect them to show all your greatest angles, or have you ever seen the damn show? Because they get face down on the floor, fupa frame up, and then they blast it up and make you look as big as they friggin' can. But leave a like, leave a comment. Big Craig actually killing it with these My £600 Life videos. And check out his Fat Loss Kitchen if you haven't. It's a pretty cool thing. And yeah, he worked really hard on it. I do know that because I talked to the guy. And yeah, see y'all later. Bye.